Southern Kaduna citizens have lived in peace over the years. We manage our differences with other Nigerians that have found it necessary to come and live with us. Things were going well until Rufai emerged as governor with an agenda to divide the state, and in a recent film clip, he confessed that his agenda was to Islamize Southern Kaduna. Fortunately for us, religion is not an issue because Islam and Christianity, even on the world plane, are the two closest religions, with Jesus as a common prophet. So for Rufai to come with this type of negative agenda was a big surprise. He decided to have nothing to do with Southern Kaduna. What crime did we commit? No crime at all. He also confessed that even at the national level, they used the bandits to win the election in 2015. And when he assumed office here, he also confessed that he knew where the bandits came from. He went to where they were to pay them money to stop killing Southern Kaduna people, which made the situation worse. In the end, he left the state more divided on tribal and religious lines. I said somewhere in a recent interview that in Southern Kaduna, many family compounds have both Muslims and Christians. In some instances, traditional religious people. We have no problem at all. So he planted that seed of discord, and since he left, I'm happy to say, with the change in government, the tempo of the killings and destruction of villages has drastically reduced because of the current positive posture of Senator Obasani, his successor in office. In fact, he has come up with an initiative to set up a meeting between elders from Northern Kaduna and Southern Kaduna. We have held 2 meetings that were very, very successful. So a ray of sunshine has appeared at the end of the tunnel. We're ever ready to cooperate with whoever God put on top of us as the governor. On the national plane, in respect of the restructuring issue, I was a member of the 2014 National Conference. We took a global look of this issue. Now, the British ruled us for many years, and the template they left behind was based on their experience at home. 3 regions were created with semi-autonomy. When independence came in 1960, in 63 specifically, the Midwest region was created. Things were going relatively smoothly until the first coup came to dissolve the regions. The rest is history. A complex federation like Nigeria needs special arrangements. And borrowing a leaf from abroad, the largest democracy in the world is India, with a population of about 1.3 or 4 billion. Their setup is very unique. Brazil is another federation. So the idea of restructuring is to correct the mistakes of the past, because our current system, including the Constitution, are not functioning well because of hitches here and there. States were created by the military regimes. From that time, we have seen that states creation is a versatile vehicle for rapid development. Since things are not working properly, let us rearrange. In that regard, the 2014 National Conference report made some recommendations, and the recommendations are all embracing. What is needed now is for the current government to take a look at that report and then choose what it can implement. The creation of a few states was recommended. Adjustment of boundaries here and there was also recommended. So the whole aim is to carry every group along. And of course, sitting down and exchanging views, listening to all sorts of views with a view to charting a more credible way forward. I think that is not too much. If we don't do that, we're going to continue to face what we're facing. Because democracy is all about listening, compromising, and crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Okay, sir.
This is all I can say.
Okay, sir. So you fingered Nasir el-Rufai in the recent crisis in southern Kaduna, but you and I know, sir, that it's deeper than that. There was a crisis in Zango Kataf at some point, as you said in a recent interview, that you were framed for. And even before that crisis, the Zango Kataf crisis between the Muslims and the Christians spanned way back the 30s in this country. We've had that crisis even before the Willings report that talked about creation of states to be able to settle out the minorities. State creation came about because they felt the minorities were unfairly treated when we had the regional system. And in the middle 60s, those that complained in the Midwest of how the dominant Yoruba group treated them finally got their Midwest states. But it looks as though every step we have taken to settle the problem of the minorities have not worked. At some point we thought Willings' report would be a silver bullet. It's not worked. Now we think restructure is a solution. So once you fragment even further, in the spirit of favoring the minorities, does it really solve the problem? Or more minorities now emerge?
Well, the overall aim is to ensure equity and justice. Creating more states or adjusting boundary cannot add to the problem. When the Midwest region was created, progress started. Later, when the military created more states, it was divided into two. Go there and see the development that has taken place. It is not possible to grant every ethnic group a state as such, but an appropriate regrouping will enhance the authenticity of democracy. To quote one expert, democracy is based on equity and justice. That is what promotes peace. I will take you back to the British model. You have the English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish. Great Britain. They have been managing their differences very well. That was the template they left behind. So, given the massive resources Nigeria has, restructuring will challenge every group to rise and take maximum advantage of its resources. What we have now is dependence on the federal government because of the oil money, which is now dwindling. That leaves the solid minerals and agriculture in the rural areas lying dormant. So, we in southern Kaduna are saying that we deserve a Gurara state in terms of population, land mass, resources, and trained manpower. Grant us that Gurara state. That will not stop us from cooperating with our brothers in the north. We are still here. The southwest was one region before. So is the southeast. All right? You spoke about the Willing Commission. All that the Willing Commission wanted to do, according to the report, was to create the COR region and Middle Belt region. So, but the report suggested a postponement of the granting of independence by 2 years in order to sort this out. The political class at that time assured the British that if given the independence, they were going to resolve that. When independence was granted, they didn't do anything. So, this request asking the government to take a second look at this is all parts of the movements that will promote peace and stability. Granting us a Gurara state, like a few others, will not interfere with fellow Nigerians who are already living with us in peace from pursuing their business. So if we give us a state, giving us the executive, the judiciary, and legislature, our cultural heritage within the Constitution will come into play. And I think it's a good idea, because one of the great federations is the United States, and they have over 50 states. Some states are richer than others, but it's one country. Anywhere you meet an American, he will be proud to tell you where he's come from, but he is a proud American. So, this is what we should do. We borrowed the presidential system from there, but unfortunately, we are not using the modalities. They have 3 types of police: FBI, state, and county. Here we have only one federal police command. There are few on the ground, they lack equipment, and so forth. So we should create, the states should be allowed to rearrange their security setup. If we had state police in place today, the level of banditry would not have reached where it is. So, given the fact that our political class shout democracy, but some of the things done are anything but democracy. So, the subdivision is meant to reinforce
security in Nigeria have been compromised to a large extent. I remember very well when a former minister gave to Mieti Allah over 100 billion. Nigerians must not forget that. So how can you secure a country where you are giving people who are already terrorizing fellow citizens such huge amount? Two, there is a trust deficit between government and the people, and most especially between the people and security agencies. Listening to the comments by colleagues on this platform are saying, I'm from Kaduna State, I am of Southern Kaduna extraction, I know what I saw during the previous government of Rufai and others, if one can mention name, how people were killed, homes destroyed, lives completely shattered. And when you even run to government to complain, instead of government show her might to protect you as a citizen, government will in turn accuse you of raising tension because government just wants you to speak nice language, being politically correct. Well, you know that your father has been killed, your neighbor has been killed, children were slaughtered, and there was no concrete step by government to do. But is it a complete practice every day? There are some changes we are seeing, but you know we have to admit that certain things went wrong. And I keep repeating this, that until our security agencies win the trust of the people, honestly speaking, they can't fight this because the people don't even trust them to share with them what they are seeing.
Why do you think, Reverend, why do you think the people don't trust the security?
Yeah, because of certain practices that people experienced in the past, and security have not made deliberate effort to. I've seen a situation where, as one of our speakers said, there is a killing, and for 1 hour, the terrorists will have a field day, burning houses, killing women and children. Nobody says anything. But the next day, security agencies will come. Probably the young people who escaped have come back in anger with their den gun and trying to show, we will not take this. Then they will arrest them and parade them before media and say they have gotten gun runners or they've gotten people with weapons. You know, how can people trust such kind of a situation? Where were you for 1 hour? Look at, in some cases, the distance between a security checkpoint and where the evil is being done is not up to 1 kilometer or up to 3 kilometers. But once the evil is being done, at that time they will become deaf and dumb. They will no longer hear. They will no longer talk. They will not act until when the criminals have killed, destroy, and disappear. Then they will come trying to demonstrate that they are showing that they have come to rescue the people.
Welcome back. I know many of you go don't watch and listen to within this man don't talk from A to Z. I mean the first man will be saying talk for you. Now the former military will be seeing Euro River State 9 be that. If you carefully understand within don't talk about this Rufai of a man, you go no say normally the plan will be say okay, Rufai be don't get for the southern Kaduna people was to Islamize them then according to the man. And he says again that thank God say them will be Christian and some Muslim. They understand their we say they understand their self. They look on the hurt each other. That is why the bad agenda will be saying carry come no work. But we too, you see this same Rufai that is trying to gang or that is ganging up together with some southern Nigeria people. You see not him they are talking about, or is another one self. Big person can clear my doubt. Because me, there's something I'm not understanding here. If you know how in the play, you will never carry yourself, see you won't go light or do anything with that man because the bad record when you don't get for this country, you don't pass many things. Although I go like me could finish within that first man we been the talk. Get to talk. We go come back and finish this matter. Thank you.
Clearly now, sir. I'll just go through the questions, briefly. One, why didn't you, or did you, make a similar recommendation to President Buhari, who, being your colleague in the military, probably will have been easier for you to relate with? And what gives you the confidence that President Tinubu will do it? In one interview, you said there is no North. How do you mean? And then three, you were in South Sudan. You've been talking about creation of states and all of that. But after South Sudan was created out of Sudan, you were in Sudan on the UN mission. It didn't stop the people of South Sudan fighting among themselves. What is the guarantee that even if Southern Kaduna gets a state of its own, the infighting among the people will disappear?
Well, point of correction, I was never in Sudan.
Okay. I thought you were in the UN mission.
I retired over 30 years ago.
Okay.
No. I retired from the service over 30 years ago. I'm an old man now. In 2015, Buhari's government promised to restructure the country. Yes, agreed, some people did not take part in the conference because they didn't believe in it. Since we are running a federation of diverse ethnic nationalities, whether you took part in the conference or not, there will be no harm in looking at what others think. And I think the ultimate solution is dialogue. Let every group have their say. At the end of the day, in the interest of national unity, a way forward will be found.
Hi, we are back again. So, I know saying I don't see everything and don't hear everything, don't talk or concerning how Nigeria is supposed to be better, if Nigeria is supposed to be, like if Nigeria is structurized today. Say everything go dey well according to him, saying all these persons wey be say they talk, na elder them be, they know how everything they play well, na them understand how the game was playing then. That is why, as you can see and hear what he's saying here, he said that the only thing that will solve the problem in Nigeria as a whole and minority problem in Nigeria here now is when they restructure this country, is when everybody go get peace to feed the anywhere we see they want to for this country now we don't talk. And for all of us here we see we dey now, which we get to talk about this because it don't take no be today matter now all this thing be it don't tell we dey come tell everyone or just say make Muna meet Tinubu, make he do the needful. If not, I don't think this country will be better. As soon just be. If you get anything you want to talk, make you drop down for inside comment section, and also if the days of best time, make it like, share, subscribe. Thank you.